Hello there. Welcome to the first ever episode of Fancy embarrassing herself in front of the entire internet by doing that thing what has been popular for a few years now. That's right, the thing where people play video games and then talk over that and then post recordings of that on the internet. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and you can watch and listen. For my first project, I'm going to tackle a game that's close to my heart. You've probably heard of it. It's called Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie was developed by Rare and released in 1998 on the Nintendo 64 console. Much like Rare's earlier, very well known Donkey Kong Country series, it is what is called a mascot platformer. Unlike Donkey Kong Country, it is an original IP, and unlike Donkey Kong Country, it is a 3D platformer. Yes, it's one of them collectathons that you may have heard about. To me, Banjo-Kazooie exemplifies all the things people love and all the things people hate about the genre. Is it a good game? Well, I think so, certainly. There's a degree of nostalgia talking here. It's certainly a very fun game. Now, how does it hold up today? Well, I'd say that for people who are more used to modern games, it would probably borderline unplayable in some parts. But then I think it also holds up much better than some of Rare's other Nintendo 64 games like Perfect Dark or the famous GoldenEye 007. Both of them games that were very good back then but have just aged really badly. Now, while I do own an original copy of the game, I don't really have the means to record it. You know, console capture isn't that easy, and also my N64 gamepad, actually, all three of them are kind of worn out, so I can't really use them properly. So we're gonna have to use an emulator for this. This, of course, means that we'll have to deal with some artifacts and it's not gonna be perfect and all, but we're also gonna get a slightly higher resolution. So please forgive me for not being able to bring you the authentic experience. Now, with all that out of the way, let's play a thing called Banjo-Kazooie.
Uh-huh.
They don't make fun introductions like that anymore. And here we see one of the artifacts that I probably can't do much about. the each of those puzzle pieces is actually supposed to have a bit of the screen on it. It's not supposed to be black. Well, what can you do? So here we have 3 save files, pretty typical of an N64 game, and this game makes them at least look pretty cool. Here I have a previous save, we're not going to be using that. So I'm gonna use Cooking Banjo, or maybe Game Boy Banjo. The game was already pretty old by the time this game came out. I think I had a Game Boy Pocket and that was a bit old. Well, doesn't matter. I think we're gonna go with Cooking Banjo. And let's get on with the actual intro, because that co-introduction was not the actual intro, no. Even though it introduced us to some major characters, this is where it really begins. Ooh, what's this? Some kind of witch, maybe? Yeah, it's a witch. It's basically a combination of several witches from fiction. Gruntilda. Totally not the Wicked Witch of the West. Gruntilda here is kind of vain. Yeah, really hung up on her looks. And, well, let's just say that lair entrance shaped like her head is not the only part of her lair that's stylized after her. And yes, it's the old story of, I think it was in Snow White, wasn't it? There's this other girl who's prettier, despite in this case being a completely different species and age, and let's say that not many things in the setting make sense. It's quite absurd, really. I'll try to point out some things. I have to admit though, Gruntilda does have one of the best laughs. Oh, and we're gonna be hearing a lot of it. So right here is, well, the cutscenes speak for itself, really. It's all mostly exposition to introduce the characters. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. And our secondary hero. I like the movement effect on that sheet. Yeah, that's basically the plan. We're gonna try to stop this throughout the game. Is that your brother? Up there in the sky? Oh, I don't think so. Who is that? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the person whose face is right on that mountain? Yeah. We'll talk about that later. And yes, Grunty does speak in rhymes, always. And yes, the characters do all speak like that. That laugh. So, now we get to play the game. This is Banjo, the bird in the backpack on his back is Kazooie, and they're going to save Banjo's sister from the evil witch Gruntilda. You can run, you can jump, or rather do this pitiful little hop, and that's about all you can do for now. let's go back home first. Look at things. So, here are a few Easter eggs. That picture is, I think, of one of the levels we'll be going into. And here's a mini game, a secret thing that, well, I don't know much about. We'll look into it later. But I'd like to point out to you that this Banjo-Kazooie don't actually know the Bottles, the small guy here, and yet they have a picture of him in their house. Why? Why? They keep a small fish, which is very unhappy to be there. Sorry, little guy. And on this wall here, we have a picture of a level that does not appear in the game. I think it was cut. Also, I'd like to point out that they only have one bed in that house, even though Tootie supposedly lives here, I think. I'm not sure where else she would live. Yeah, we're gonna look at Spiral Mountain in a moment. So here is where Banjo and Kazooie actually meet Bottles, and they get off on the wrong foot already. Yes, the ugly witch Gruntilda. You know how some witches in fiction get these cool descriptors, like the Wicked Witch of the West, or the Golden Witch, or Endless Witch? No, not Gruntilda. She's just the ugly witch. Yeah, Gruntilda isn't exactly an icon in online feminist spaces, even the ones focused on gaming. That laugh though, oh man, I love it so much. Best witch laugh in games. And yeah, we're gonna refuse the tutorial. I'm gonna just explain everything, and besides there's another Easter egg here if you refuse. No, let's not go. Let's badger him a bit. No, we want help after all. Come on, Bottles. Come on. Oh, come on. What can you possibly do? Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 please. No, no. My game, no! Bottles doesn't fuck around. Okay, so let's get on with the tutorial. We can jump higher now. We can do this pitiful short attack. We can do a roll attack, and we can do, yeah, 2 different beak attacks and a high jump, which we're going to now use to grab this extra life. This is one of those games that came out in the period when extra lives were still a thing. But we never really need any extra ones. If you run out, you get a bad ending cutscene, but that's about it. You don't really lose any progress if you run out of lives. And yes, that's how we recover life, and everything talks, and everything has eyes. Which means that, well, we're going to be killing a lot of objects that, you know, are not actually inanimate. Look at that gold thing. This whole area is, as I said, a tutorial area, and it's not something you see in games these days. It's like a low stress area to get used to the controls, and as the thing just said, if we get 6 of them, we get an extra life point. And there are exactly 6 of these, each for one of these pseudo challenges. Most levels only have 2 of these, but this opening area, Spiral Mountain, has a whole set of 6. Yes, we are cooking vegetables. You can also swim. Yeah, Banjo doesn't sink like a rock. And we can even dive and swim underwater. And we have a limited amount of air to use. We can do a slow swim or a fast swim. We die if we run out. We die if we run out of air. And over here is another honeycomb piece. Let's get out of here. As you can probably start seeing, Spiral Mountain doesn't really have any way out of it. It's just this enclosed area with a bunch of honeycombs and a mountain on top and Banjo's house and the entrance to Gruntilla's lair, and that's about all there is. This area is completely cut off from anything else. And Banjo apparently has never met Gruntilla before. Yes, the rocks have eyes as well, and we are about to break them into pieces. You need to use that specific attack. Nothing else works. The attack itself isn't particularly useful, I found. I usually just roll into stuff. It's too unwieldy. That said, you can, depending on how long you hold the button down, you can adjust the length of the attack. And that's how you get more life. None of those experience points you kids keep getting in action games these days. So, with all the honeycomb pieces gathered, we are going to climb this tiny, weird mountain that shares the same with the entire area. And as we climb, you can see the ground changing. Yeah, I guess we're ready. Yes, show us the way. What way could she possibly be in? I don't know, maybe there in that direction? Huh? Look at that. There's nothing there. It's like some kind of child's dream or something. There's this whole area makes no sense, even though as we find out in the sequel, Spiral Mountain is actually part of like an island. I think it was part of a larger geographical area, but there are no ways in or out. Ah, can you hear that? The music's changed. The music you're hearing right now is a version of, well, that's Gruntilda's theme. I hope you like it because we're going to be hearing it a lot in many different arrangements. Into the gob. Just Grunty, aren't you a bit tight in there? You'd think that this custom-made device would be built to fit her, but apparently not. I do like how Gruntilda isn't averse to using technology. Yeah, she's the kind of person who uses anything. Magic, technology, explosive weapons. She'll use just about anything. Oh, it looks like we're almost out of time to save her, but no, for some reason that is never really explained, Grunt, the whole plan never proceeds beyond this, not unless you run out of lives and get a game over. I don't know why. So yeah, here we have a picture of Gruntilda with an artifact. If we try climbing here, we will slide down. There's no way to actually climb this right now. We need to move. And on the left up there, you saw maybe something glittering. We'll get that later. In a minute, in fact. Here's the entrance to our first world, called Mumbo's Mountain. I'm not sure how this world that is inside this entrance here is connected to the rest of Gruntilda's lair. Ah, yes, a jigsaw picture. This is how we open worlds. You need to get these golden jigsaw pieces called jiggies and basically fill out the missing pieces in these paintings. Once all pieces are there, we can enter the world. Reminds me a bit of the paintings from Super Mario 64. Except in that game you jumped into the paintings themselves and you didn't have to do anything to them. No, the paintings were just locked in rooms with a star requirement. Unlike the stars in Super Mario 64, the jiggies do get used up when we use them, so when we put them in paintings. And there it is. I hope you like that jingle because we're going to be hearing it every time we pick up a jiggy, and there's 100 jiggies out there. Yeah, exactly 100. Speaking of which, come on, Mr. Jiggy. Let's fulfill your purpose and stick you into this painting so you can stay there forever. Blah blah. Press A to put a jiggy and press B to take one out. You can't take them out anymore after you've completed a picture. And no, they will not test our wit because they're not puzzles. You just put the jiggies in and they fit in by themselves. And here's Mumbo's Mountain. It's a very short stage, very small, much smaller than the others. Short and easy tutorial stage. Well, it's not really a tutorial anymore, but it's easy to get things going. And don't know who these guys are. And that's a Jinjo. I'm not sure what they are. Well, they're Jinjos, but not sure if they're supposed to be like birds or something. For some reason, Grunty has kidnapped a bunch of them, exactly 5 in every level. They're kind of trapped in places like that they should really be able to get off. And we rescue them by picking them up. And that's a Mumbo token. Oh yes! That sound effect? Yeah. We will be meeting Mumbo in a while. I'll probably have something to say about him, but, well, I just love the sound those tokens make when you pick them up. And here's another thing to collect. The notes. There's 100 on each level, and there's this weird system with them. Like, getting them builds up your high score, sort of. We need them to progress through Grunty's lair. And here's another Jinju, a blue one this time. I can understand how this little buddy couldn't maybe escape, unlike the other one who's just on top of a hill platform thing. This bull here is a sort of unique enemy, I think. Only 1 or 2 show up in the entire game, and you can't kill them. They just keep coming back. The bee houses, as anything else in this world, are completely self-aware and alive, and we will have to murder them to get to their sweet honeylicious contents. Now make note that there is a limited amount of health restore honey pieces that you can get in a level, so you should be careful about how you use them and not pick them up when you have full health. Now, this is Congo, and this is Chimpy. 2 different kinds of primates. We are going to rob Conga blind. First, we will destroy these weird orange blocks that are here for some reason that he claimed for himself. I don't know what's up with that. Yes, 10 genies on each world. There's 9 worlds plus Grunty's lair. I think that's how it went. I'm not sure. You'll see. And now we're going to steal Conga's 1 soul orange, which is also alive. They actually went and made a sprite for that orange, for that 1 line of text says. That's some dedication. And yes, we get another Jiggy that was either just there or belonged to Chimpy. And here you get eggs. The blue eggs are, yes, ammunition. We're about to learn how to use them. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be one of our most often used abilities. They're needed for a lot of these semi-puzzle challenges the game offers. Yep. We're gonna see that in a moment. Exciting indeed, Buttles. Well, thanks. Hold, crouch, and fart. Yep. And this is how you shoot them. They're a bit hard to aim, but, well, you have plenty of ammunition and the targets are pretty big. And here's a grunty panel. It makes... pressing it makes something happen in Gruntilda's lair. There's one in every level. We need an ability to get this. We'll come back here later. Yes. And no, Conga, we're going to beat you up. Because... why, thank you. Conga seems the warrior type, huh? The kind of honorable warrior who rewards those who best him. You're okay, Conga. What's next? Ah, thank you. Here's a... I think it's called Ticker's Tower. We'll be going in there and inside later. But I think it's the only place in the game that has termites, giant termites. And here's not Stonehenge. The Talentron ability that we're about to learn is probably the single most useful ability in the entire game. It's very easy to use. It makes you... well, its main purpose is to travel up slopes, but it also makes you move faster. So, yeah, expect to see this a lot. Hope you don't mind the sound it makes. This slope here, though, it is possible to actually climb it without the talent trot. It was a bit tricky. That's our third Jinjo. I think you might be getting an idea by now why these kinds of games are called collectathons. This particular level just hands out everything for free. Plenty of notes, Jinjos out in the open, and Jiggies that are just lying there. Believe me, the rest of the game isn't that easy. It's not a super hard game overall, but it does have some moments that can be really tricky. Especially since you need to get all of the Jiggies to access the final boss fight. Now, let's check out what was up that mountain here. A village of some sort. Now, I'm not sure what cultural tradition this is drawn from, if any at all. There's probably something here to be said about cultural appropriation, about how some peoples are portrayed in media, but that's a bit beyond me. Oh yes, Kazooie will be getting her face smacked into the ground many times, and it's a very satisfying ability to use. Just look at that! Yes! Wham! Look at that frame rate go! I really do enjoy the effects on those huts breaking. Each of these huts has something different in it. You want to break them all. Here's our final Jinjo. Oh, that's adorable. Now, what else is there? Another useless extra life. Then the last one, we will have another Jiggy. The game actually crashed there for a moment. Or no, not crashed. Froze more like, but that's the reason for the cut anyway. Now, if you look at this totem, this pole here, there's something up there. The trick is to, well, get rid of all these segments but one. You climb on it and it's an empty honeycomb piece. One of two in this level. And here's yet another Jiggy. Told you. This one just hands them out like candy. See? Now we're going to get another one that's just, excuse me, that's just floating around there. And after that we will enter that skull-shaped building. Several levels have these buildings and every one of them belongs to, well, a magic user called Mumbo Jumbo who does magic for us in exchange for his tokens. Sorry about that. Mumbo has a thing for skulls. Before that, let's check out the tower here. Here I forget where the entrance is exactly. It's right here, a bit hard to see. Yeah, they don't take kindly to bears. Here's a Mumbo token. One of a total 5 in the level. But we can't seem to progress any further. The slopes are too steep even for the talent trot. Maybe the local magic user can help us with that. And that's Mumbo Jumbo, the shaman. Yeah, I'm not even sure what he's supposed to be, and I do like how he sounds, even if this is somehow insulting to some peoples in the world. Oh well. But yes, he says here we don't have enough tokens. This is actually something I wasn't prepared for. Usually I come here with level 5, but here I somehow forgot about it. It's not up here. I actually had to go and search the level a bit, which is something I haven't done in years. So it was pretty fun, you know, searching the level, collecting things. While I was looking for last token, I remembered this. Yep, there's a Jiggy outside of the level. And here's the last token. Yes, let's see this amazing magic of yours. I've got my hopes up. One day, Banjo, an adventuring bear, found himself transformed into a giant insect. My God. Okay, so this terrifying metamorphosis can actually help us, believe it or not. Adorable. Yes, the other termites are jealous of our shorts and backpack. Now, the termite can actually walk on these super steep slopes. Termites can do that. Did you know that? And come on, let me have that last one. Come on. How? Now we're in danger. We might die like this. And we don't want to die. Well, I guess it's okay now since we have all 100 notes. Aw, Banjo-Kazooie are angry at me. Sorry, guys. And yet another useless life. Come on, they don't seem that angry anymore. And here is the last Jiggy in the level. And when we get 10 Jiggies, we get an extra jingle. Termites can jump down from huge distances. Did you know that? All that's left is to leave the level. I get a bit confused about where I'm supposed to be going here for some reason. Termites can walk underwater and breathe underwater. Did you know that? True nature facts. But yeah, we can leave the level in a transformed state, and that's actually necessary to get this Jiggy that's appeared up here. Yes, Bottles, thank you for explaining the note score better than I could. Enough with the shorts already! that's everything in Mammo's Mountain. Almost. There's one more thing. Yeah, we can't wander off too far. The magic just wears off. With that Kafkaesque nightmare over, I remembered that there was actually a second open honeycomb piece in there. I had to go back. It's right here, hidden in this mountain. Now with the talent trot, we can climb this slope here. Oh, those are some scary walls, huh? And here's our first note door. It's very easy to get those 50 notes. You could actually just come here after getting the talent trot and 50 notes, but sorry. We're going to need all of the abilities and many more notes to progress through Gruntilla's lair, so there's really no point to not get everything you possibly can in the level. Oh, thank you, Bottles, for topping up our health. And that's the first note door down. Well, I sure hope that's not the last one. Oh, and who is this? Hello?